A very good morning to my dear children. Capital requirement of any business enterprise can be broadly divided into two categories: fixed capital requirement and working capital requirement. So, today in our online class, we would be doing the fixed capital requirement of a business concern. That is, today in our online class, we would be covering meaning of fixed capital and factors affecting fixed capital. What is fixed capital? Fixed capital refers to the funds required for acquisition of fixed asset. And what are fixed assets? Fixed assets are those assets which are meant for generating income. And fixed assets are those which remain in the business for more than 1 year, usually for much longer. These assets are used permanently for business operation. Example, land and building, plant machinery, furniture fixtures, etc. Fixed capital is also known as block capital. But why is fixed capital known as block capital? Because investment in fixed asset is a long-term commitment and the amount so invested cannot be withdrawn easily. It is blocked up for the lifetime of a business and hence fixed capital is also known as block capital. Fixed capital can be raised through long-term sources of finance, which are shares, debentures, long-term loans and retained earning. Now the second heading of today of our online class is factors which affect fixed capital. The first factor which affect fixed capital is nature of business. The nature and type of business has a bearing upon the fixed capital requirement. For example, manufacturing enterprise, public utility undertaking. Public utility undertaking are railways, electric supply enterprises and city transport. Thirdly, firms having higher growth prospects. These three types of business require more investment in fixed asset than that of a normal trading concern. Second is size of business. The scale of operations also determines the amount of fixed asset. Scale of operation means economies of scale. Thus, a large business enterprise which is operating at high scale, that is high volume of production, will require bigger plant, more space, resulting in higher investment in fixed asset in comparison with small business. Third, nature of product. The type of product produced also determines the amount of fixed capital. A firm can either produce capital goods or consumer goods. A firm can either be a heavy industry or a light industry. Thus, firm manufacturing capital goods or is a heavy industry would require more fixed capital, whereas a firm manufacturing consumer goods or a firm is a light industry would require less capital requirement. Fourth, method of production. Some business enterprise are labor intensive and some are capital intensive. Labor intensive business enterprise require less capital because these type of industries rely less on fixed assets, whereas capital intensive industries require more capital because they require more fixed asset and they rely less on labor. Fifth, diversity of product lines. A company manufacturing multi-product requires more fixed capital than a company producing a single product. Sixth and last heading, mode of acquiring fixed asset. Means A company can purchase fixed asset either on cash basis or on lease or hire purchase basis. A firm which purchases fixed asset on cash basis require high amount of fixed capital, whereas a firm purchasing fixed asset on lease requires less capital, less fixed capital. When an asset is taken on lease or hire purchase, because business enterprise pay lease rent and uses the fixed asset. This way huge amount of money required for the purchase and maintenance of fixed asset are saved. Thus, availability of leasing and hire purchase facility reduces the capital requirement of a business enterprise.